Okay, well, welcome everybody. Just a quick thumbs up or hands up or however you want to react to make sure that you can see the screen okay and everything is good. Excellent. Well, welcome to our first of two information sessions that we're going to hold for the Master of Education in Media and Technology Studies Education online part-time program. Just give a brief introduction. My name is Dr. Jillian Code. I am an assistant professor in the Faculty of Education here at UBC, and I am a program coordinator or program director for the MEd online program for Media and Technology Studies. And I've been at UBC for a little bit now, and I do a lot of work with our undergraduate teacher education program in technology education, but I'm spending a little bit more time in the at the graduate level. And Tasnim, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Tasnim Al-Obaidi. I am the Senior Program Assistant at Professional Development and Community Engagement Office. Thank you all for coming. I'll be covering some interesting things after Dr. Jillian Code presentation. Thank you for coming.
Great. And yeah, please just call me Jillian. Next slide. Thank you. So before we begin, before we jump in to any details, I first want to acknowledge that our UBC virtual campus and our physical campus, Vancouver campus, is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. It's also obviously in the city of Vancouver, which is also the traditional unceded territory of the Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh nations as well. I'm currently coming from the Lekwungen traditional territory known today as the Esquimalt and Songhees First Nations on Vancouver Island. Next slide, please. So this info session is really divided into two parts. I will be talking to you about some of what the program is all about. Give you an overview, an intro. We'll talk about, courses and timeline and things like that. And then Tasnim will speak to you about some of the admission requirements and how you go about applying. Next slide, please. So this program is hosted in collaboration with our Professional Development and Community Engagement Office, which Tasnim is located, but the academic programming is done through the Department of Curriculum and Pedagogy at UBC, which is responsible for the curriculum courses that are taught at the undergraduate level, but obviously are the home department for our Master of Education program as well. Next slide, please. So the MEd in Media and Technology Studies Education, we always say MTSE, is really a specialized graduate program for those interested specifically around the area of ADST. Thanks.
Sorry.
No, no problem. Specifically around, I can just talk to this anyway, around the applied design skills and technology area within the BC curriculum, but also more broadly speaking. And as I'm sure many of you are aware, ADST is a critical component of our K-12 curriculum. And it is integrated, it can be integrated within and across academic settings, but also at the secondary level, it is taught through a number of independent courses, most notably the technology education classes, which are, the woodworking, automotive technologies, metalwork, etc. Next slide, please. Thanks. The audience is really meant for those who are looking at wanting to study ADST and curricular issues, theoretical issues, perhaps, thinking about research and technology around areas such as critical design thinking, designerly ways of knowing, media and visual expression, applied design, and technological and curricular competencies within and across subject domains in K-12. And so it's really meant to be of interest to a broad range of individuals. And with our current cohort, we do have people, we have a really strong core group of people from tech ed, but we also technology education, but we also have other people. We have somebody who's in French immersion, and we have another a few people who are in media studies and filmmaking. And so it is of interest to a number of people. The online cohort is really, it is meant to be fully online. So the majority of the courses, all of the core courses are offered online. But then we do have some space for electives, and these electives can be really up to you. They can be taken online as well, or you can mix them with other graduate level face-to-face courses at UBC or other universities that are subject to the terms of the Western Deans Agreement or the Graduate Exchange Agreement, which is the Western Deans is the Western Canadian Deans Agreement, or the Graduate Exchange is for all across Canada. And so if you're interested in taking a graduate level course at BCIT, for example, you want to work on some more advanced level skills, things like that, then we could potentially consider those as one or two of your electives. It really depends on what you're interested in and what you want to do. Next slide, please. So at a glance, these are the courses that are currently planned. So we will start off in July of 2023 with a 2-week intensive seminar class to really kick things off. And it'll be we'll be meeting probably every day. It'll be by Zoom. And so it's meant to be 3 credits in 2 weeks. And so it will be quite intensive, but it will, I think, help prepare you for the next steps. And then we have critical thinking in the age of social media. We've incorporated in this round a course on Indigenous visual expression taught by Dr. Shannon Leddy. Curriculum issues and theories, and then we have a general media education, curriculum pedagogy and issues class, history of media and technology, and research methods in education, which is a general introduction to research methods or inquiry methods, depending on how you look at it. And then we have a course on diving more deeply into the literature and curriculum and pedagogy, specifically in ADST. So these are, the courses are specific yet general at the same time. So it will allow us to incorporate as much of your interest as we can, but then also at the same time tailor the readings and the discussions around specific issues with respect to applied design in the context of K-12, or more broadly speaking. In this cohort also, there is a space for 1 elective, and we are generally requiring a graduating paper or a capstone project, which is the equivalent of a 3-credit course. But if you can also choose to have a second elective as well. So part of the TQS, as I'm sure, teacher qualification, as I'm sure you're all well aware, no longer requires a thesis or capstone project, but many of our students still like to do their own directed inquiry directed study project. So that's what the EDCP 590 would be for. But if that's not your cup of tea, we can certainly accommodate that as well. It's really up to you and your interest, because this is your program after all. Next slide, please. Here are some examples of past graduating papers from previous cohorts, previous iterations or versions of our MTSC program. And there's a couple that are highlighted here. I don't have any from our current cohort because we haven't quite hit that that level of sharing yet with our current cohort students. But you can see that there's, really thinking about technology education in BC, a case for secondary school polytechnic education. So there's really some, as I'm sure you all know as well, a real need for some advocacy work around career education, but technology education and media and technology education at the K-12 level. So these are some projects that that are reflective of that. Next slide, please. So with this, I will hand it over to Tasnim to talk about some of the specific admission requirements.
Okay, so I'll be covering the admission requirement, application overview, tuition, and student fees. And at the end, we will have some time for Q&A. So these are contact again. Please contact Julian for any academic questions. And please contact me if you have any administrative questions related to processing the application. Or if you don't know where to forward your message, just forward to me and I can take care of it. You can email me at pdce.educ@ubc.ca. So what we're looking for is a 4-year undergraduate degree with a B+, which is 76% at UBC in all senior level courses, which is 300 level and above. Or if your GPA is in the B- range with a B.Ed, then you would still meet the GPA requirements. But for those who don't meet the 76 or B- requirement, if the admission committee feels that you're a good candidate for the program, then they will submit something called a special case rationale, recommending you to the admission to the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. Also, we have seen a 3-year undergraduate degree as well. So please do not be discouraged if you have a 3-year degree. The admission committee could provide a special case rationale to recommend you to the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. Again, if they feel you are a good candidate for the program.
Tasnim?
Sorry, yes?
Sorry, do you mind if I just add a quick comment here? Thanks. Because many of our potential candidates come with a 4-year or the 4-year undergraduate degree requirement as come with a bachelor's of education from UBC without a previous 4-year undergraduate degree as recognized. We've been able to arrange for admission as long as the GPA and other requirements are in place. So so I wouldn't worry too much about that if you have, like, if you did the BCIT TT-Ed program and then came to UBC to finish your degree. We have made an I don't want to say an exception, but there is a pathway for admission.
Thank you. We also require 2 official sealed transcripts from all post-secondary institutions attended with the exception of UBC. Please upload the front and back page in a single PDF file and upload to the application. The reason we ask for 2 sealed transcripts, you will use one of them to upload to your online application, and you keep the other one until you receive the offer letter, and then you'll have to send the second official transcript to the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. Applicants that have participated in exchange programs and have received transfer of credits in their undergraduate degree must provide transcripts from those institutions. We also look for 1 to 2 years of teacher experience in an educational context or a 4-year bachelor degree in education. In special circumstances, teacher education may be waived for those applicants who have a university degree with sufficient standing and experience related to their proposed field of study. We also look for a resume that includes your education, employment history, volunteer, etc. We also look for a 600-word statement of intent of your applied design skills technology experience, professional goals, and anticipated benefit of involvement in the program. We also look for 3 references, 1 academic and 2 professional references. Your professional references should be from people that have supervised you. References should be submitted electronically. Use the e-references through secure online application to expedite reference letter. Referees can upload their own letter to the system. Instructions are provided to them. So technically, once you're in the online application, you have to include your referee email address. Once you complete the application and hit submit, that will trigger the link to go to your referee so they can upload their reference letter. If referees choose to mail reference letters, then the letters must be sealed and the flap of the envelope is signed. Please note that we do not accept references by email or by phone. The reference letters can be mailed to our office, the Professional Development and Community Engagement Office. The address is below, and it's actually on the program website as well. Applicants from a university outside Canada in which English is not the primary language of instructions must provide results of an English language proficiency examination as part of their application. Tests must have been taken within the last 24 months at the time of the submission of your application. Please contact me if this applies to you. After you submit your application, you will be assigned a student ID. Please place that number on your part-time acknowledgement form. If you have an existing UBC ID, please use it on the form. You'll have to initial after each statement and sign, include the date, and upload back to your application. So the application is now open. To go to the application, you can go to grad.ubc.ca/apply/online. For the program search, you can select MTS2 or MEd in Media and Technology Studies Education Professional Cohort July 2023 start. Again, if you have a UBC ID from previous study at UBC, please use that ID. And if you can't find it, please reach out to me. I'll find it out for you. And upload your all your supporting documents and submit the application. Once again, the application is now open. The application deadline is on January 30, 2023. Currently, the application fee for a domestic student is $108, and for international students is $168 and some change for international students. Domestic tuition fee installment currently at $2,295 and some change per term, plus student fees. And the tuition cost for domestic is currently at $16,667 and some change and plus student fees. International tuition fee installment currently at $2,480 per term plus student fees. International program tuition cost only currently at $17,365 and some change plus student fee. Tuition is paid in 7 installments, which means 7 terms. Students' fees vary from term to term. Payments are due in January, May, and September. UBC reserves the right to raise fee usually once a year. Most likely happens in May. All fees are approved by the UBC Board of Governors. Tuition is charged as a whole program fee, not on per credit basis. Just think about it like a card loan. For example, if you take a leave for 1 term, you won't be charged since you're not taking any courses on that term, but you'll still have to make that payment once you come back to resume your studies. Student fees are charged in addition to tuition and vary from term to term, budgeted at approximately at $800 per term. Medical and dental plan, approximately at $277 and some change per year, with an opt-out option available. They're charged in September only, and opt-out option is available. For Compass Card, applies to those that lives in the Greater Vancouver area, allows you to travel in 3 zones on public transit. The cost is $176 and some change per term, and it's part of the student fees. If you live outside of the Vancouver Lower Mainland, you can apply for UPass exemption. You must apply each term. Teacher education certificates. This is directed to teachers in the Vancouver Lower Mainland that have taken UBC students in their classrooms as student teachers. If this applies to you, please contact the Teacher Education Office at teacher.ed@ubc.ca. And I am at the end of my slides. Thank you for listening.